Good morning. You can tell I must feel at home with you rascals because I did not wear a suit today. And every other time I have been with you, I have done so, as my mother taught me. There are going to be two trains running today. One of those has to do with looking at the outside as home, and the other one is looking at the inside as home. Julie just saying that home is where the heart is. I am a great jazz lover, and I love improvising. I didn't write this sermon out, and I didn't do it on purpose, because it's easier for me to let the Spirit come through me rather than write it as though it were a symphony, because I don't feel very symphonic today. When I was asked what the title would be, you all will ask someone who is going to speak for a title of a message earlier than anyone I know. It's like, are you serious? And for some reason, I said home. I had no idea that tomorrow morning I'm going to have surgery. None. I had none. I had a bout with bladder cancer the last 3 months of last year. And the surgeon believed that he had gotten everything. And when I was asked to give the title of the sermon, I thought I was doing great. But before I got it the first time, I also thought I was doing great. And so Thursday before last, we went to see the doctor to get this 6-month checkup on it. And he said, he showed me the pictures. He said, you've got all these tumors here, and I'm going to have to do surgery again. Some of my friends asked me if I were angry. I wasn't angry at all. I have come so much further than I dreamed I would come. Growing up, 6 years, we were homeless. The best house we ever lived in was projects. Nobody in my family on either side, going all the way back to Adam and Eve, had graduated from high school. And between my 4 sons and myself, we have 11 degrees. So to be angry, like, at who? At who? I took all the blessings, and now I'm on a whine. But this time, it was caught prior to the pain that I had dealt with the first time. The first time, for 3 days, I urinated red. I thought it was straight blood. That's how dark it was. Followed by 3 weeks of spasms at a 9 level, I would say 10, but I was alive. Between 2 and 3 dozen a day, with no rhythm whatsoever. Once there were 3 in 22 minutes. And you couldn't sit down because I had to walk to try to deal with the pain. So I know I can do it. I didn't want to do it. So I told him, okay, I need for you to expedite this surgery so we can get ahead of this curve. The first reading I'm going to give you comes from what is called the Old Testament by people who consider themselves to be Christian. My wife is Jewish. She is not here because she is running a Red Cross blood drive right now. And they call it the Torah. So, from Psalm 91. Whoever dwells in the shelter of the Holy One will rest in the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of the Lord, I know my refuge and my fortress, and which deity I trust. Stop there. We live in a society. There is, everywhere you go in Ann Arbor, you're going to see Michigan clothing. I mean, everywhere. And I wear mine sometimes too, because I hold babies in a pediatric cardiology ward every Monday. I've been doing it since January of 2011. And so I have to have my little M on there. And the babies have M's too as they indoctrinate them into this. And you know, as I do, we're about to hit football season. There will be more people in the so-called big house on Sunday than in all of the spiritual gatherings in a whole month. There'll be more on any given Saturday. That's one of our gods. Money is another god. A third god is comfort. And remembering that that is a part of my belief system, when I was in great discomfort, I refused to pray for comfort. I wanted to feel whatever was coming. I wanted to move through it. I wanted to try to help other people deal with not only theirs, should they find themselves in the same place, but have compassion for those loved ones who might be in that place. One of my first cousins said, "Why don't you tell people what you're going through on Facebook?" And I thought the child was crazy. I just used ghettoese, which I sometimes will slip into. I thought the child was crazy. But I prayed over it, and it was clear that the Spirit wanted me to do it. So I did that every Saturday for maybe like 8 or 9 weeks. And one time, over 900 people reached out to me to say that they were praying for me or sending positive energy. If that doesn't humble you, you're not going to get humbled. To know that many people care and that you can be a model to help other people dealing with these struggles. Because, you know, we don't teach that in school. Julie said the first time we met, and I forgot about it, I hired her to teach Spanish when I was headmaster of Friends School in Detroit. I used to remember every pretty woman's face. But I learned that that's not a wise strategy when you're married. So I had to put that aside. Surely the Holy One will save you from the fowler's snare and from the deadly pestilence. You will be covered with divine feathers, and holy wings will be your refuge. Pure essence will be your protection. You will not fear the terror of night, nor the missiles that fly daily, nor the pestilence that stalks in the darkness, nor the plagues that destroys at midnight. You have to find your peace. You have to find your home within. You have to make your home a movable feast. Now, I learned that early. In so many things we look at as being regrets, that if you study them hard enough, you can make them into a blessing. So I'm in first grade. My mother had taught me how to read by the time I was 3. So when I was in first grade, I was reading at a 5th grade level. One reason she was able to spend so much time with me, and she couldn't with the subsequent kids, is because she had a set of twins when I was 2. And the white ambulance would not take her to the hospital when she was in trouble. And she lost those twins. There is no way, if they had been born, that she could have spent that much time with me. There's no way. She could not have had 3 kids, and she lost her twins when she was 19, so you know how young she was when she had me. Where Daddy was, you got to ask God, because I can't figure out why he was not there to be able to help her. So I'm in the first grade, and I'm so far ahead of them that the teacher had already allowed me to read whatever I chose to read once I had done the assignment. So I'm reading. She comes by. If I've told you this before, don't say stop, because I'm going to tell you again. So I whispered in her ear, and I said, Andrea is my girlfriend. Now, I didn't know what a girlfriend was. But I knew, you watch TV, and little boys had girlfriends, right? Okay. And Andrea was this little blonde sitting in front of me, and she had Shirley Temple curls. You remember those? So I say, hey, this is a likely candidate. So the teacher said, stopped the whole class and said, Andrea cannot be your girlfriend because she is white and you are a Negro. Well, I was totally confused because I didn't know what this was all about. Because I thought Negro was a good word. Because my daddy had said, if somebody calls you a nigger, say, I'm not a nigger, I'm a Negro. When I become a nigger, I'll let you know. So, okay. And he was darker than my freckles, and mine was about the color of the palm of my hand. And so there was less distance between my shade, most of my shade, because I've got these tattoos on my face, less difference between most of my shade and hers than my parents. So I told Mom, to which Mom said, babe, she held my hand, she said, your teacher's right. You can be lynched, and she explained to me what lynch meant if you have a white girlfriend. We're in Southern Ohio. The Ku Klux Klan was seriously strong there. Emmett Till had already been killed. And then she said, but you are as good as anybody. She planted home in me. What she did, and she had to have known what she was doing. She wouldn't have used this terminology. She was saying, you are at home wherever you go. Don't let somebody take home away from you. So you can still love school. Even though you got this teacher who is, she didn't use the word racist. I don't know if she ever used it. Even if you got a teacher who's racist, you can still find your home there. I'm going to read I'm writing my third Psalms book. I write Psalms, as I know I shared the last time. This one is from the book that I'm working on right now, Psalms of New Light. And my Psalms are written directly to the Holy One. They are not for artifice. They are not mimicking the originals, because there are so many whiny Psalms in the original, so many mean-spirited Psalms in the original, mixed among great beauty, that I can't make myself go to being whiny. I can't make myself go to wanting revenge. I can't make myself go to hating people, because the only way we're going to heal this world is to love those who don't have freckles and are black and have green eyes. This is dated 8 February. Forgive all the things we call opposites that are different perspectives of a whole whose fullness we do not comprehend. Grant us the patience to float like butterflies between showers over fields of sunflowers, and to reach toward clouds whose passing is not the same as their advancing death. How little we know when all seems understood. How much is at hand when all seems lost. How gracious you are when home is in the pause. We rush around so much that we don't even know where home is. We don't even stop to look inside and feel the love. I share with my wife this week that Thursday, I guess it was, I stopped one white man who was pushing a baby and one white woman who was pushing a baby. And I said to both of them, how is the boss? And they both knew that I was not talking about them, because that baby is the boss. Those of you who have been parents of little babies or babysitters of little babies, you know who is running the show. And the guy smiled and said, yeah, you're right, she's the boss. And the woman said, and they were on different parts of town. The woman said, thank you for asking. He's doing very, very well. Okay. I said, they got so much joy out of me smiling and asking them how things were going in their life. But we almost never do that in our society. We don't bring our best selves. We don't try to make people feel that, yes, this is home, this moment, on the road, pushing this baby, even though the baby may have kept me up all last night, but this is home, and this is love. And my neighbors are supporting me in this. We don't heal the world if we don't support each other, if we don't go out of the way. I didn't know those folk, and they didn't know me. But what they did was try to feel the spirit. And the spirit was not my spirit, it was the spirit coming through me, okay? When you bring your best self, you are bringing the spirit to others. This one comes from my book, Psalms of Solace and Resistance, January 4th. If we scatter goodness by nurturing hate, can you pick up pieces so we can restore that which rightfully should be alive? Home is where peace rules each moment. Please be our vision, for nothing hidden in what we call sight also escapes yours. I'm going to stop here. I was on the board of Safe House. Some of you know Safe House? And I love Safe House. And I kept trying to help people understand, we're talking about being a sanctuary for women who have been abused. And my mother was abused frequently by my father. We need to be talking about building a safe home, which is what you're singing about. You can't have peace on the streets, you can't have peace in the world if you don't have peace in the home. In the home. And a house is not a home. I shared with one of my mentees that a favorite quote of mine comes from a philosopher named Kierkegaard. And he said, when you say two, don't be so proud. Two exists by killing one, time and time again. When you say two, don't be so proud. Two exists by killing one, time and time again. If you have a couple, and the only way that couple was allowed to flourish is because one person is dominating and the other is making her or himself small, you may not have a divorce, but what you do have is a dominating system, a tyrannical relationship where both of you cannot grow together. And it is possible for you to flourish together. I told my 4 sons when they were growing up, when you fall in love, if you fall in love, whoever you fall in love with, make sure that person is a strong person. Because you need somebody that's going to get in your face and tell you when you're wrong. You need somebody who's going to not only guard your back, but who's going to guard your front. So I look at my daughters-in-law. Weak folk can't be around either one of them because they are who they are when they want to be that way. And they have children now, and they're making their children the same way. We've got to change the paradigm that we have been living in this society, where one person is dominating another person, or one party is dominating another party, or one race is dominating another race, or one nation, the super party, United States, is dominating other nations. We are in this together, created by the same Spirit to love each other in all times, even when we disagree. I'm going to end this with a psalm that's dated November 14th from the same book. Are you disappointing me, or is my neighbor busy disappointing you? This is a question that I've asked before when cherished dreams have fallen apart. I sit in a pool of tears and examine the waves before they cover me with polluted water. I'm stroking far removed from my plan's desire. My plan's desire? I want to control the world. How am I going to do this? In deepest darkness on a night without stars, I can only find light within my own spirit. For that is where the Spirit is, within me, wherever I move, in whatever space. Forgive my hubris that led me to seek counsel from those who talked well, but were clueless to the ways of love and compassion. I was speaking in North Carolina in June, and I said to them, anything that I say about this gathering that is not with love is an intrusion. And I just said that spontaneously, but I want to hold on to that so I can quote myself. Because if I'm not bringing love, it's an intrusion. What am I messing with your life for? Why am I bringing some defecation from way back yonder to mess up your life? That's not why the Spirit put me here. By joining in their folly, I prove myself a companion of the lost, yet boasting. You, the found, waited, whispering, here am I. Follow me, my son. There is just one way out. Be my guide, pathfinder. And let's go home. When I was introduced, it's funny. I've been a minister since I was, just before I turned 18, since 1966. But I'm a Quaker. We don't use titles. Every time I come here, you guys call me Reverend. But every time I go back to my hometown, they do the same thing. I guess I'm home. God bless you.